So this story is absolutely heartbreaking, and I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in myself for not knowing about this sooner. I should have known about this sooner. I should have known this guy's name. I should have seen stories on this, but I haven't seen any stories on this until yesterday. So American hero drone whistleblower Daniel Hale was sentenced to almost 4 years in prison. Take a look at this. A whistleblower who leaked top-secret information about America's drone warfare program has been sentenced to 45 months in federal prison. Daniel Hale, who's 33 years old, who formerly worked as an intelligence analyst for the U.S. Air Force, pled guilty in March to retaining and transmitting national defense information. He was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Alexandria, Virginia, by Judge Liam O'Grady on Tuesday. In 2014, Hale leaked more than 150 pages of classified material to a journalist, revealing details about how the government's unmanned aerial vehicle operations, revealing details about the government's unmanned aerial vehicle operations. Hale took the documents from the National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency, where he was working as a contractor at the time. While it has never been officially admitted, Politico reports that the details about Hale's activities and the records he leaked make clear that the reporter was Jeremy Scahill of the Intercept. Documents that Hale leaked were subsequently cited in the Drone Papers, an investigation by the outlet into the government's activities. Scahill also about drone warfare, in which he elaborated on the findings. I think they have a typo in there. Hale later said that guilt over his own participation in drone strikes overseas had compelled him to come forward. Charging Hale under the Espionage Act, federal prosecutors had previously sought a maximum punishment for him, which would have netted him 11 years behind bars. Politico writes that Hale appeared choked up through parts of Tuesday's judicial proceedings, but showed no remorse about his disclosures. Instead, he expressed regret about having played a part in America's drone program. Quote, here's what he said. "I am here because I stole something that was never mine to take. Precious human life. For that, I was compensated and given a medal," Hale said. "I couldn't keep living in a world in which people pretended that things weren't happening that were. Please, Your Honor, forgive me for taking papers instead of human lives." Oh, that hurts. That's a gut punch. So do you understand what he's saying? I guess he was a drone operator. And so he had access to the information about what was going on with the U.S. drone program. And he got a medal for operating the drones and effectively killing civilians. And what we learned because of his leaks, it's the fact that I often cite and many others often cite. There was a 90% civilian drone death rate. 90% of the time with the drones, we were killing civilians. We were killing the wrong people. He's the one who leaked the internal documents, which showed that to be the case. He's the one who did it. He got a medal when he was pressing the button and killing civilians. That's what it sounds like here, right? And then when he leaked the papers that showed the facts of what was going on, that's when they threw the book at him. And now he's going to prison for almost 4 years because he had a conscience and he wanted to leak to a journalist who would show it to the American people what was really happening. Oh my God. Oh, this is heartbreaking. We owe a lot to Daniel Hale because he showed us how all of the things we're told about how, everything is like laser guided precision and we make sure we could hit a mosquito from, thousands of feet in the air. My ass cheeks, you can. It's nonsense. It's all nonsense. And Daniel Hale's the reason we know that. We also learned, I believe it's from his leaks, we also learned about the different kinds of drone strikes. There's signature strikes, which is, I think, when they know who it is. There's double taps, and then there's one other where they don't know who it is, but they guess they got it right. Double tap is exactly what it sounds like. You strike, and then you circle around, and you attack the first responders who are getting there. Now, oftentimes, the first responders are first responders, and it's medical people. And double tap was standard operating procedure in many drone strikes. So, just totally ruthless war crimes. And Daniel Hale blew the whistle on all this. blew the whistle on the flimsy evidence we often use to decide to call a drone strike. The signature strike where they think they know who it is, oftentimes it's just based off cell phone data or something like that, and you'll have 5 or 6 people in the room with this one person who they nominally want to go after, and then they're like, yeah, press the button. So we kill the first responders oftentimes. I wish I could remember the name, not signature strike, but there's one other that meant we don't really know if it's the person, but we think it's the person, and so we're going to press the button anyway. That's another thing that we learned. All of the safeguards that were there were kind of bullshit. And guess what? Under the Trump administration, it got even worse because they removed whatever safeguards were there. Whatever rules were there. Trump got rid of them. And Trump got rid of any sort of document keeping on what was going on with the drone program. I don't know the timeline of this, but I think what happened was when this information was released, it sort of forced the Obama administration's hand, and so they, came up with more rules and procedures and things of that nature, and then when Trump came in, he was like, yeah, who are we kidding? We're not abiding by this anyway, nor should we. Let's get rid of it. So it's 90% civilian death rate under Obama. I'm sure it was the same, if not more, under Trump, because there were even fewer rules that they were abiding by in his term. And by the way, just so everybody understands, this is another fact that's rarely brought up. Donald Trump's first military act as president in 2017 killed a 7-year-old American girl in a botched raid in Yemen. People don't know about that. Anyway, I digress from that point. This guy's a hero. This guy is right up there with Julian Assange. This guy's right up there with Chelsea Manning and Edward Snowden. It really says so much about the system, doesn't it? When it came to Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning, remember, they showed the American people a video of U.S. soldiers killing a civilian, and then bombing the first responders. This wasn't with a drone. This was with a conventional military plane. And they were laughing about it. And so Chelsea Manning had a conscience, gave it to Julian Assange. Julian Assange released it. They have been persecuted relentlessly. And the people who actually committed the crimes and killed innocent people and laughed about it, no justice. They haven't spent a day behind bars. They weren't brought up on any charges. Daniel Hale got a medal when he was killing innocent people. When he exposed and showed the American people that the drone program was killing innocent people, that's when they went after him, and now he's spending almost 4 years in prison. Again, they're using the Espionage Act. If I'm not mistaken, and the reason I know this is because of the case with Snowden, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Espionage Act makes it so that you can't even make a public good defense. It's an old, outdated, authoritarian law. And they say, you're not even allowed to bring up, I needed to release this for the public good. Snowden can't even bring up, hey, it was my leaks that showed that all Americans are being spied on. Innocent Americans are being spied on. And that's a wanton violation of their protection from unreasonable search and seizure. What the government is doing is unconstitutional and illegal. I'm just showing that it's unconstitutional and illegal. He's not allowed to bring that up. He can't say that. And by the same token, I guess Daniel Hale couldn't make that case too. Hey, shouldn't the American people know that their tax money is funding a drone program where 90% of the people being killed are innocent? Government says you can't bring that up. Or, if he was allowed to bring it up, they said, don't care. You technically broke the law by releasing that classified information. What's a bigger violation of the law, in your opinion? Massacring innocent people at a very high clip? Or releasing classified information about killing innocent people? You tell me. American hero. Everybody needs to know Daniel Hale's name. He needs to be right up there with Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning and Julian Assange. These are people who have a conscience, who are standing up to decrepit, rotten, disgusting criminal systems. And for that, their lives get ruined. I'm not judging this kindly now. I know none of you are, but you bet your ass history is not going to judge the government kindly on this. This is imperialistic shit right here. And I don't even think it'll be that long in the future before everybody realizes just how broken the system is and just how much we should be building statues to guys like Daniel Hale. So he burst the fairy tale. And that's why they have to go after him ruthlessly and relentlessly. He let everybody know this nonsense you're taught about American exceptionalism and we're the good guys and we always mean well and, you know, we're so careful about making sure we only go after the right people. He showed that's all nonsense and that's all a fairy tale and that's all bullshit. And when the illusion is gone, there's nothing there but naked barbarism. And so now the system is doing everything it can to protect itself from legitimate scrutiny. And it's absolutely grotesque.